Finally, the day is over. I must have cooked for over 100 people today. Being the chef is so tiring. The good news is that you're the chef tomorrow, Beep. VR for Diner Duo review for the PlayStation VR.
Let's begin!
First up, let's take a look at the gameplay. In this game you take the role of a chef and have to prepare meals for robot customers. A waiter takes customers' orders and then displays what they want in a speech bubble right in front of you. You must then prepare their food and place it into burger buns, in the correct order. All the ingredients are found around you and it doesn't take too long at all to know your way around the kitchen. Some ingredients must be cooked first, such as burgers, fish and mushrooms. They can become burnt quite quickly if you don't keep an eye on them, but luckily a sound dings when one of them is ready for serving. Some ingredients need chopping first with a knife before they are ready for serving. Chopping for cucumber works most of the time, but chopping mushrooms is a bit fiddly and can lead to frustration, as it normally takes 2 or 3 attempts before it cuts properly. You also need to add ketchup and mustard to some orders. This feels quite realistic as you have to hold the move button down and it does feel like you're squeezing a bottle. It can be quite overwhelming when you start getting orders that contain a lot of different ingredients, but luckily the game does ease you into its mechanics, and it does have a tutorial that shows you how to cook and exactly where to cut parts of certain ingredients. The game also includes 2 difficulty modes that you can switch between if you get stuck. It also saves your score for both difficulties on each level, which is a nice addition for completionists. The game does support co-op play, and the whole game can be played with a friend. The game does play slightly differently though in this mode. The VR player is the chef like before, but has a menu on their counter. The non-VR player takes the role of the waiter and must go to each customer's table to find out what menu item they want. They then tell the VR player the menu number, so they can prepare the meal. Once the meal is complete, the waiter must then get the meals from the chef and take them to the correct customer. The waiter also has another job, which is getting customers correct drinks. There are 3 to choose from, so the waiter must also memorise some of the order. Timing and teamwork really is the key to success in this game, and you always know if customers are losing patience because a face icon above their head slowly becomes angry. If this happens, the waiter can give them a starter meal to keep them happy for a short period of time. To put it simply, you will both have to work well as a team, and it really is rewarding when you complete a level without messing up an order. It really is a great social co-op game. After completing levels, you are rewarded with new clothing items that the chef and waiter can equip. It's a nice little touch and adds another sense of progression. The game also has a cupcake mode where you must place the correct cupcakes onto trays, and it also has a winter mode that adds Christmas decorations in an extra set of levels. You also eventually unlock an endless mode that includes local leaderboards. Now let's take a look at how immersive this game is. Everything is very crisp, cartoony and bright. It really does suit this type of game. When playing in the cupcake and winter modes, the cafe's environment changes. The layout is basically the same, but it does make the experience a bit different and is welcome. The depth is really good, especially when customers come flocking inside and find seats all over the place. You really do get an amazing sense that you're inside your very own cafe, and you do really feel like you are behind a counter. Burger buns are found underneath your counter, and after a while, you find yourself reaching for them without even looking. You do really become grounded in this world. When playing in co-op, it really is quite funny to see the VR player on the TV scrambling around the kitchen, cooking up the order you just told them to make. And when playing as a VR player, the depth is great on the waiter as they grab your plates and zoom off into the distance to a hungry customer. The sound effects are really good and most actually help you in some way. Customers will burp when they have finished a meal, and the door will ding when a new customer enters the cafe. It all helps to keep you immersed in the world and helps you to be ready for what's coming up next. The bubbly music fits the scene perfectly, and if you get bored of the music, you can change it by using the cassette player right next to you. Now let's take a look at the setup and what controllers the game supports. I played this game in a standing position just over 2 meters away from the camera. The head tracking was perfect and the game did not give me motion sickness. You do need 2 move controllers to play this game. For co-op play, the non-VR player uses the DualShock controller. Most of the time the move controllers work great, but every so often I did have trouble picking up the knife that is located to the right of you. The PlayStation camera had trouble seeing it as my body turned. It's not too much of a problem, but on the harder difficulty when you need to be really quick, it can be quite annoying. The game includes a very good height and scaling mechanic. It's very fluid and it's one of the best scaling options I have seen in a PSVR game so far. Setting this up to your liking before you first play is a must, as it really puts everything you need to use in reach. Now let's take a look at the length of the game and what trophies come with it. The game has over 50 levels and they can all be played on 2 difficulty settings. The game does have a lot of hours of gameplay and I'm sure the endless mode will keep families coming back for more to try and beat each other's high scores. There is a lot of content here, and if you're a trophy hunter you'll be happy to know the trophies are done well for this type of game. In total there are 13 trophies that can be achieved. There is 9 bronze, 3 silver and 1 gold. Some are simple and are rewarded for silly things, such as completing the tutorial and for customizing both the waiter and chef, but the good challenges are for getting 3 stars on all the normal levels and for reaching a certain score in the endless mode. And now it's time for the verdict. This game is a lot of fun and is quite similar to Dead Hungry that recently released. With this game though, it does ease you into its mechanics and isn't too hectic at the beginning. It does get very challenging later on though, and you will break a sweat. This really is one of the best co-op experiences I've had on the PSVR. Me and my nephew play the co-op mode a lot. I'm 27 and he's 22, so the game is fun for all ages. Cutting mushrooms can be annoying and it doesn't always work the first time, and I did have to turn down the difficulty because of it. It's not a deal breaker, but I think it is something that needs looking into. Overall, this game has quite a bit of content and is at a very fair price. It has a great single player cooking experience, and if you are looking for a couch co-op game in VR, this really should be one of your first choices. I give VR for Diner Duo a score of 8 out of 10. I just don't understand it. When you're the chef, we are never busy. It's so unfair.